That's right, Jessup. The crash happening on Saturday, but there's still debris here on the scene on Monday. These bullet holes on this building near 20th and Racine Street are a reminder of Eugene Henderson's tragic death, but he will forever be remembered as a star football player. Well, Bill, no one was hurt, but as you mentioned, 2 people are in police custody, and the officer who fired his weapon is on administrative leave. And I want my photographer to pan over so you can see there are cameras in front of the home and in the back of the home. I'm assuming this is just to keep a close eye on it because this is still an active investigation. Now, Chief Norman says this was not a random act. It was targeted. And I know you've been out in the community talking to community members about what's needed for the city. How are you feeling about the results tonight? The president of the Milwaukee Police Association says this was a very unfortunate situation, but he says it should show the community how dedicated officers and detectives are on and off the clock. Well, this 11-day run is something vendors and organizers have been waiting for. It's a chance for them to re-up and people to enjoy. And the family says people are reaching out to them with helpful information. However, they say there's not much conversation between them and Burger King. Now, if you have any information about this night, the family is pleading to call Milwaukee Police. Earlier today, MPS workers put out these gigantic rocks and these snow fence poles. They're hoping this will prevent people from driving on school property. No charges have been filed against those 4 people. It's still a heavy investigation, but police say they do believe there are multiple suspects on the table. Well, Mike, those life jackets can be stored in these boxes on the beach, and the motive is still unclear. Milwaukee police are searching for the people responsible for this horrid crime. Nia Fitzpatrick turned 19 years old a month ago from today, February 21st, and now today, March 21st, her family is planning her funeral arrangements. That car was stolen. Now it ended up crashing right here and burning. We have surveillance video. In it, you can hear police sirens and the car comes to a stop. It's hard to watch. Sunday night, a 16-year-old boy and a child were walking together near Albert Street and Marquette in Racine. A dark-colored SUV pulls up. 2 suspects hop out of the car and start shooting at the teen.
A lot of gunshots. We hit the ground first.
One of the suspects shoots point-blank range. You can see the child takes off running. Racine police say the teen suffered multiple gunshot wounds.
And my husband peeked out the window and saw the kid laying there with a little kid and his mom. You could hear in the house she was just out of her mind, devastated.
The neighbor does not want to be identified. She says her grandchildren saw the scene. But what's more upsetting is the child who witnessed their loved one shot.
But the little one that was next to him is going to be emotionally messed up forever, probably.
In this case, it appeared obviously very purposeful, but we're early enough in the investigation, we still don't know the why yet. So it's not responsible for me to speculate what the motive was, and we won't know that until we get somebody into custody.
The woman says she lives in fear every day. Last year, there was a shooting at a nearby park that left a bullet hole on her house.
Went through our house and went through where I used to sit all the time. I want more police around. I want more cameras. I mean, this town doesn't have crap for security cameras. Most towns, they have them on every block.
An act of kindness ends in betrayal.
They took my baby. They wrapped him up in his cover and they took him.
A day after the Amber Alert of 3-month-old Anthony Crudup Jr., his mother, who did not want to be identified, is counting her blessings.
I learned my lesson. You can't trust nobody. They really deceived me. You know, they lied to me.
Late Tuesday evening, she met 2 teens at the liquor store. She says she did not know them.
They was telling me that they was getting molested, they was getting trafficked.
So she brought them back to her home, hoping to be a temporary safe haven until someone was able to pick them up. Here is where the story takes a drastic turn. She went to sleep around midnight, woke up shortly after, and baby Anthony and the girls were gone. Why would they take your 3-month-old?
I guess apparently one of the girls wanted to act like she was pregnant or wanted to act like it was her baby.
An Amber Alert was sent out at 7 a.m.
I was worried. I was looking everywhere for my baby. I was looking in the dumpsters. I looked in the washer, dryer, ovens. I looked by the creek. I was walking up and down Sherman, standing in the rain. I was going crazy. I didn't know what they did with my son.
Around 1 in the afternoon, investigators were led to a home on 44th and Febrance. Baby Anthony was found safe inside. Several people were escorted out in handcuffs.
But I am pressing charges, and I'm going to make sure they stay in jail because that wasn't right. Anything could have happened to my baby.
1,000 people involved.
Milwaukee Police Captain Jeffrey Sun explaining a map that shows the most problematic and dangerous intersections in the city.
Fond du Lac and Hampton, Fond du Lac and Capitol, Capitol and Sherman, Sherman and Burleigh, Fond du Lac and Sherman.
He says anywhere you have high congested traffic ways, crashes are to be expected. This is due to rush hour, speeding, and not paying attention to the road. Captain Sun says drivers don't even obey the speed limit when it changes.
Let's say you're going down Fond du Lac Avenue and you're exiting Fond du Lac Freeway and it turns into Fond du Lac Avenue at about 68th Street. Sometimes people think they're still on a freeway.
According to the Department of Transportation, there have been over 12,000 non-injury crashes in Milwaukee this year, involving 26,000 people, 45 crashes killing 50 people.
It's a disturbing number.
But they are working to try to reduce the number of crashes.
We get to the intersections and the problems of concern as much as we can. Obviously, we have finite resources, and that's why we need everybody to be part of the solution.
By telling your neighbors, friends, and family to slow down. Captain Sun says there are conversations about installing roundabouts, bump outs, or curb design.
The city is doing what it can to change people's behavior.
10th District Alderman Michael Murphy says the Common Council just hit the green light on $6 million for engineering solutions.
And that means changing the streets themselves. So physically altering the streets to force drivers to slow down. So that money has just been approved. The Department of Public Works will be looking at rapid implementation of some of those projects in the very near future.
Naisha Harris Brazil killed on the job at just 16 years old.
And I hear my niece say, I'm finna die, I'm finna die. I said, TT, baby, no, you're not. No, you're not. I said, TT, hang on, hang on.
Tashay Lane remembering the last words she heard her niece say.
I never hung up. I can hear them in the back of the ambulance truck doing whatever they was doing to Naisha. I never hung up the phone.
Milwaukee police say someone tried to rob the Burger King on 51st and Capitol on Sunday. Brazil was working the drive-thru that night when she was shot twice.
I knew she wasn't gonna make it through that. After they said where she got shot at, like, I didn't have no faith in it.
Police released these photos of the suspect, asking the community for help to track him down.
Whoever it is, because they better get him before we do. Most High, please.
Y'all taking kids away. Kids that we thought they supposed to be burying us. This ain't nothing to play with. Now this hurt, man.
The Burger King parking lot was filled with family and friends Monday night, remembering the bright and bubbly 16-year-old.
She was always active and happy.
Brazil was a go-getter and would do any and everything for her family.
We was raising her to be a respectable young lady who was about her money, you know, because she had so many dreams.
While the Burger King sits empty, so is Brazil's family.
I want my niece back. That's it. If all the tears that we drop can bring her back, give it to us.
They got me through stuff. They made me find joy again. And that was so important because it just was sad.
Retired Milwaukee dancing granny Christine Mayar breaks down describing her love for the Grannies, a sisterhood, a friendship, and an unbreakable bond. She talked and texted 79-year-old Virginia Swanson on the daily, that now taken away.
We had things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about. I had planned on taking my pumpkins for her chickens.
Swanson and 71-year-old Leanna Owens were both killed at the Waukesha Christmas parade after a driver plowed through the parade route.
Both Lee and Jenny were the glue. They knew the history. They had been grannies, and it will never be the same.
A third granny, 52-year-old Tamara Duran, also killed, a new member whose time was cut short with the Grannies.
She was bubbly, enthusiastic. She wanted to be a granny. She was driving a far distance to practice all the time because she wanted to do it.
I asked Mayar what's next for the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies.
Well, I know that there is one of our instructors that has said it might be up to me now to get back.
And it may take a while for the dancing grannies to get out there and dance for you again, but they tell me they appreciate the support and the love. Some are still injured, others traumatized. Live from Wilson Park, where the grannies practice, I'm Winnie Dortch, CBS 58 News.
Seen the windows pop and flames coming out. There was so much smoke that I couldn't even see out of my window there. It was total darkness.
This is what remains of the model market at 24th Avenue and 54th Street in Kenosha. The building caught fire Wednesday evening around 5.
I seen the second floor walls cave right in.
George Maddock was just there buying a Powerball ticket before the market went up in flames.
It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because I'd go there to get small little things.
The first door right here, my apartment will be upstairs on the right-hand side.
But it's a double dose of stress for Antonio Jaramillo. He worked at the market, he was the lead butcher, and he also lived upstairs.
This is how I support my kids and myself. And I mean, I barely made ends meet, but I made them.
Jaramillo has nothing left but the clothes on his back and the shoes on his feet.
But this is all I grabbed. This is all I got me. This is all I had. I wasn't able to grab nothing else. Cash and everything was in there.
Arnetta Griffin hugging Jaramillo. Griffin runs God's Kitchen of Kenosha, feeding the less fortunate. She worked closely with the owner and employees of the market.
They store my food there in the freezer. They had a little area there just for God's Kitchen of Kenosha.
Griffin pressing forward, believing the community will pull through.
It's gonna be a rebuild, because when God closed one door, he gonna open a huge door.
20-year-old Keyshawn Thomas died in Milwaukee Police Custody Wednesday afternoon. His loved ones frustrated and confused.
What? My son? Y'all got my son? My son was deceased? Not my son.
2 a.m. Wednesday morning, police pulled Thomas over near 22nd and Capitol for a traffic violation. A quick search showing Thomas had a warrant for his arrest. He was taken to the District 5 police station. There were multiple cell checks, and just before 6, police noticed Thomas needed medical attention. Despite help, Thomas died.
From what? My son was healthy. My son was fine.
His mother, Markeisha Evans, says her heart is shattered and nothing seems to be adding up.
What's going on? You guys are hiding something.
He was fine when he walked in there, but he didn't make it out. Because of medical issues, he never had no medical issues.
Thomas was all about family and friends, a man of character and heart.
Wanting to do better in life, and he was doing just that. He was doing just that. He was happy, and they took that away from him.
He loved everybody. He wanted to be with everybody, make everybody happy.
I love you. Every day.
He leaves behind a 7-month-old son.
He a good dad. He really loved my son. He loved him so much, bro.
How old is your son?
He's only 7 months, bro.
And a 5-month-old baby girl, missing out on both of their first birthdays.
He treated her like he treated me. Like, he gave her the world. Like, it's not even words to describe it, because it was so unconditional.
Evans says their closure is put on hold until they know what happened to Thomas.
They have to give me answers. They have to tell me something, and they just can't tell me anything.
In Milwaukee, Winnie Dortch, CBS 58 News.